Shares in Lilly and Novo Nordisk under pressure after President Joe Biden said they're charging too much for these weight loss drugs. Our guest says the sell-off was overdone. We're joined by Evan Seigerman, Managing Director of Biopharma Equity Research at BMO Capital Markets. Thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, politicians say things and they don't always follow through. And even without getting into the politics of the thing, you think investors may have overreacted here?
Well, I think given the broad ownership just outside of specialists and biopharma, and generalists, I think that it did freak folks out a bit. I want to note that the journal article that was referenced in the op-ed really was done in an academic setting, doesn't actually reflect the cost of goods and, of course, the investment to get these drugs to market. So the cost of goods for these products is definitely a lot more than $5 per patient per month.
So the profits aren't as big as you might expect from that.
I mean, they are profitable products, but you have to remember the billions and billions and billions both Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk have invested to get us these products with these labels showing the efficacy, not just weight loss, but things like cardiovascular benefit for Novo's Wegovy, and of course, sleep apnea for Lilly's Zepbound.
You have an outperform rating on Lilly and a price target of about $1,000. Where is most of the upside coming from? Is it from the GLP-1 drugs?
So most of our bullishness for Lilly is definitely driven by their obesity franchise. I'd also like to highlight that this week their Alzheimer's product, donanemab, was approved by the FDA. We think this could be $7.1 billion at peak. Clearly, pales in comparison to the $70 or so billion we have for their obesity and diabetes business, but still a meaningful contributor. So we are bullish on the broad business from Lilly, but really underscored by their strength in metabolism.
Metabolism, that's a good way to put it. Will competition emerge, though? How big is the moat here?
I think the moat for Lilly and Novo is pretty large. They have benefits from manufacturing, the clinical data. They really have the expertise in developing these drugs. And of course, they have the relationships with the payers. By the end of the decade, we do forecast that about 20-30% of the market could be for competitors. So think Pfizer, if one of their oral products work, maybe Roche has some success with their recent acquisition of Carmot Therapeutics. But that still doesn't take away from the massive opportunity for both Lilly and Novo.
What about Novo? If people had to choose between Lilly and Novo, what is the difference between the two companies, between the two stocks?
That's a tough question, and I actually tell investors you can own both of them. I think that both of these stocks, continue to push the bar. One might do well one way, and one might do well another way. I think that there is so much demand for these products that you really do need two players. Some of the differences to highlight, Lilly, a US-based company, they have more businesses than just metabolic disease. They have oncology, neuroscience, and inflammation. Novo Nordisk really just focuses on the metabolic disease with diabetes and obesity. They have some rare disease, but they really don't have the diversity that Lilly has. But still, it's a fabulous stock, and we still really recommend it.
You just started covering Novo Nordisk, a Danish-based company. Was there anything that surprised you or jumped out for you as you were doing your research?
I think that Lilly trades at a slight premium to Novo, despite the fact that their core businesses are somewhat similar. I think this owes to the diversification that I highlighted with Lilly. Still, Novo is really committed to access globally, more so than I think Lilly, and Lilly does sell internationally. But Novo makes a point to ensure that their product is available in some respect in all the markets that they serve. So that's a little bit different of a nuance versus Lilly, where they're really focused on supplying the US market and then expanding internationally.
And as far as I know, for the pharma companies generally, the US market is where it's at. That's where the key profitability is.
Yes, I'd highlight that. But for the obesity market, we do see upside in cash pay markets like in China. Wegovy was recently approved there. The Middle East, so think Saudi Arabia, and of course, Brazil. So there are pockets of opportunity. But to your point, the U.S. is definitely where it's at for pharma.
That's interesting. A cash pay market is where people don't have health insurance?
It's not that they don't have health insurance. There are health insurance, government health insurance plans in China, in the Middle East, and Brazil. But for the obesity medications, you see patients who want these products and are willing to pay out of pocket to gain access. We see that also in the United States, but these are really, in China, for example, that's what's going to drive the market.
Yeah, do you get, I don't know if off-label is the correct term, but do you get people, I guess, do you get people taking this stuff to reduce their weight? Well, can they get it without a prescription, for example? I guess that's not possible.
You can't really get it without a prescription, but there are patients in the United States and globally who have obesity, BMI 27 plus with a comorbidity, 30 plus without. Those are on label. I'm sure there are definitely pockets of patients who are not in that overweight or obese category that want to lose weight and will go to a physician, maybe not their primary care physician, get a prescription and pay for it out of pocket. In the United States, the insurance companies that do cover these products are very specific about access and ensuring that patients who actually need the product for medical purposes are the ones getting it covered.
And just finally, I may have asked you this before, Evan, but these drugs, these GLP-1 drugs, are they the biggest thing to happen for the pharma industry in a long time?
They most definitely are. I mean, we've seen, I think we've seen a lot of progress in pharmaceuticals in the past, say, 20 years. I think the next biggest, kind of breakthrough was Merck's Keytruda and immunotherapy, really revolutionizing the way we treat things like lung cancer. Before that were biologics for inflammation. So think AbbVie's Humira. But, Humira is about a $22 billion product at peak before it went off patent. Keytruda's will be about 30 billion, and these products are 70, 80, 100 billion. So they are much larger, much more impactful.
And they won't go off patent for a long time?
Probably the early 2030s, but you have to remember Lilly and Novo aren't just staying put with Wegovy and Zepbound. They're working on new products. So, for example, retatrutide, CagriSema, oral options. So by the end of the decade, they'll have things that are better, more efficacious, and maybe with better tolerability profiles.